And good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 155 of New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. Garry Redmond at your service. Greetings and salutations. Well, for all intents and purposes, there was a game that took place on Saturday, and the fireworks didn't start there. It started at the end, and we're going to talk really well about it because it kept the Red Bulls in the hunt for the playoffs. So we're going to talk about that. New York Red Bulls versus the Philadelphia Union, a team that took us 6 years to beat. Of course, we're going to talk about why this game may have been not so much important than the game they played on Wednesday. More on that in a second. Of course, Nicholas will be by. Of course, we're going to talk about Charlotte FC, which is now their next encounter, which will be on the road in the Queen City. That game will take place on Sunday. That's all. It's at, that will be our next scheduled match. Plus, we're going to have, of course, our reviews and updates and previews of New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC, and of course, New York Red Bulls 2. New York Red Bulls 2 played on Friday. Gotham FC played on Sunday, and it was a very shocking loss when they pretty much had a 1-1 draw. They pretty much gave them 2 goals. But we'll talk about that in the second half of our podcast. Now, the live show is happening right now as we speak. And if you happen to miss it, no big deal. You can always catch the recording on our on-demand channels, on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you go there. X formerly Twitter. And of course, our home from the very beginning, Spotify.com. Don't forget that, all of our, if you missed the live show, don't worry. Wait till Wednesday. They'll all be there for your watching and listening pleasure. And if you have any questions or comments about the podcast, our guests, and everything else that it can be related to, shoot us an email. We love to read them. Many of you guys have done so and have questions about the show, and we read them, of course, on air when they come up. As a matter of fact, we got one question coming up, and that sparked our debate tonight about U.S. Open Cup versus regular season game. NYRBDG, the podcast at gmail.com is the email address. Once again, NYRBDG, the podcast, one word, at gmail.com. And on top of everything else, we have a birthday. And I'm going to bring this up very quickly. Happy birthday to, and here it is. It just disappeared on me. Never mind. Just 1 second. Stanley Tatum. Happy birthday, my brother. Hope you're out there enjoying it with family and friends as you take one more trip around the world and do so in grand style. So, well, now, let's talk about basically what just happened on Wednesday. We lost that game, the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal. We lost it in a place where we rarely win, but we had the lead twice, right? So we got jumped up the lead. They tied it, jumped out again, lost it, and then lost it for good by a score of 3-2. So it left a very bitter taste in everyone's mouth because everyone knows that going up to Chester is a very tough assignment. Yours truly was put in a very dark mood. Very dark. Didn't like the fact that for the last 6 seasons, a team that basically, took our identity like a kid with lunch money and beat us senseless with it for the last 6 years. We're going to talk about that, of course, at a little bit of debate on that. But before we go any further, time to bring 2 of my terrific co-hosts. You know them very well, Mark Coates and, of course, Nicholas Lianos. Gentlemen, how was your weekend? Let's get that out the way first of all.
Mixed.
Mixed? Okay.
Mixed feelings on this weekend.
Okay. How you doing, Lisa? How you doing? Hey, Mark. Everyone's up there having good time. Nick, it was the best of times, and then it was the worst of times on Wednesday, and then we made up for it on Saturday. Before we even talk about Saturday right now, let's quickly
made up for it.
Let's very briefly review Wednesday night. Wednesday night shows some promise, thanks to a person who normally doesn't score, did score. Wiki with a goal 6 minutes in. And suddenly there was optimism. There was, oh, wait a minute, we can do this. Is that what your thought after that first goal?
When Wiki scored, what a great bombing pass by AJ, booming that thing halfway across the field, and Wiki came up, saw Glisson's there, bumped him off the ball, got to the ball, and ripped a shot right by Blake. Everybody around the section, everybody in the supporter section went nuts.
Apparently, yeah, I saw it on TV. They were jumping around like they're losing their minds. They were like, "Oh, we up, we up, we up."
Everybody was shocked that it was a Wiki, and two, that we're actually up 1-0 in this game.
I said 6 minutes. I'm sorry, 8 minutes. The goal came in 8 minutes.
It was a great way to start. We were excited, we were ready, and then we're not the boat. And got a lead again on a great goal by Chupo, great feed from Dylan, and then and then again.
Baribo tied things up in the 13th minute. Next thing you know, was 1-1. It was it was for some reason I couldn't understand why that goal even happened. But then again, this is the Philadelphia Union, Mark. This is what they do. Just when you have a chance to bury your opponent, you bury him, because this is exactly what they do.
We obviously don't know how to do that, because you allow an equalizing goal 5 minutes after we scored the first one, 3 minutes after the second goal, and that was an unbelievable goal. And then, like, you're barely even feeling like you're coming down from the thrill of seeing that play, which was a phenomenal goal. And anybody who doubts Chupo at that point needs to leave the room. The man showed he's got skills.
Don't worry. There'll be some people who say, "Well, Chupo ain't scored enough. He ain't BWP." Brother, stop. The man just got here, and he's already reached legendary status.
But like I said, then 3 minutes later, that was just a calamity of errors at the other end.
Nakahena with the third and final goal in the 89th minute sealed the deal. And everybody made that long trek home after that. I mean, it was just as painful to watch for everyone involved, including yours truly. And it put me in a very evil mood. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't want to hear anything about, there's nothing bad about losing to a good team. Mark, I love you. Fishkin, I love you. I love you to death. You know that. But I didn't want to hear that statement from you, especially when it comes to that team. Okay? Didn't want to hear that. Somebody said, well, they're not a rival. No, to you, they're not a rival. But to me, I'm sick of losing to these guys. I'm sick of seeing our style built to perfection and beating us senseless with it. I mean, this is the thing that really hurts, okay? But to be beaten at your own style, Nick, that's extra special. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We the first time we tried to play this open quarterfinal game in Philly, and it got canceled, and then we stuck around in Philly, get abused by them because they just opened the can of whoop ass on us. And it wasn't even pretty, and they just pressured us.
Just took our lunch money and said, "What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna take more lunch money from you." Yeah, that's what they do.
And in this game, we came out. We were fighting with them. We're battling with them. We're physical with them. We get 2 leads against them, and we couldn't put it away in the first half. This game could have been had in the first half. You had 2 point-blank chances by Serge. One, he was pushed in the back, and if he fell, they'd probably given him a penalty, but that's beside the point. The header, he missed.
That's what you get with young players. They're not aware of,
And then
if he was a 10-year veteran, he falls.
Noah's header getting taken off the bar at the last second by Blake. You have to be 6'5" and use every inch of it to take the ball off from being scored. And we had, I think there was another one by Hall that would deflect it around. They could have gone in. And we're looking at each other like, okay, we're 1-1. We're not playing Chupa or Emil. We're 1-1 in a 1-1 game. We're right there with this team, and they're playing their starters. Second half, we're bringing Emil. We should be okay. We're bringing Chupa. We should be good. We get that goal. On a beautiful ball by Bill.
Tape to tape.
You cannot put a ball in a perfect spot and Chupo with his left foot in mid
Didn't have to, no, he didn't even have to move. That's how precise that
perfect.
pass was.
And you
Okay.
saw Blake's reaction as Chupo hits it. And he just went, oh, I just got posterized. And you just look back and you see the thing just loop right into the corner, into the thing, and you knew everybody loses mind. Thank you for putting CBS Sports putting me on television again for the second time. For me, but whatever. And then we're walking around, we're all happy, and then we parted the seats. And I'm
In the
looking at this,
89th minute.
and I'm the second
Edelman.
part of this.
Edelman.
Our
Ay, ay, ay,
style
ay.
is pressure the ball, so there's no way for it to go reset, only for it to go backwards. Nova steps up, pressures the ball. Edelman, there was two people in the middle of the field. Edelman chose the wrong guy, and the minute he vacated the middle of the field, it was pass, corner shot, goal, game over, tie game. And you see the team just going. Noah turned around to his team. Noah loses it. He blamed Dylan. Dylan turned around and goes, that was not my fault. I picked up the right guy. He did, actually. And we had a late coming. People didn't come back in time from the.
Noah lost it.
Noah lost it. So we're looking at this game. We're like, all right, guys, still 2-2. We have time. We're still trying to get the ball back. They're pressing, and we're fouling. Now we're just fouling them every time we get. Why do we panic?
Young team. That's the thing that drives most of our fans, not only in the group but everywhere else, nuts. It seems that we struggle against veteran teams that know all the dark arts, that know all the tricks of the trade and everything else, including selling out fouls that look like penalties. Okay.
See what they did.
So it's not that type of deal. But when you have a young crew, and this is what I hear Weeby said, young teams don't win jack, and this is why. But when you have veterans, come in and been there and done that, and this is something that I've been begging for this team to sign. More guys like that. If you have more veterans in that department, in that in that group, they don't crumble like this. They're the guys that take young kids by the neck and say, "Come here, you see that? Don't do that." Don't do that. Don't do that no more. And aside from Coronel, aside from Forsberg, aside from Choupo-Moting, even aside from Tim Parker, most of the guys that we have, in the core are young dudes, young ballers, still making their way in. What's they say? Still, got Similac in their breath and the whole night. They're still babies, okay? When they go up against teams like Philly, when they go up against teams like Miami, when they go up against teams, any squad, okay, that has a boatload of veterans, the Red Bulls are going to have a hard time. But on the other side of that token, we got guys who are quick. We got guys who are athletic. We got guys that got the moxie, got the hustle. But it don't mean anything. And Nick, you just made it clear. In any situation, if you had veterans, would that second or third goal go through? No.
Second, we don't part the seas like the way we did.
No, you don't part the seas. No, you don't part the seas like that. So let's shift our attention to Saturday, right? So with Wednesday done and dusted, everyone was kind of confused about Saturday. People were still debating whether or not that, why, all of a sudden the game on Saturday became major importance. Well, I'll tell you why, because looking at the standings will actually tell you were tied with points. Okay. One win puts you right back in the thick of things. And oh, by the way, Philly ain't too. They're terrific at home, right, Mark? On the road, And this is something I wrote in, the preview. I said they got a chance if they're getting able to play perfect football for about 90 minutes, but unfortunately they were undermanned, right? We when you looked at the player availability, Nick, you had your eyes were probably crossing. If you rolled your eyes so hard, you were probably cross-eyed. Like, how did we get back to 14 guys, almost half a squad out? Right.
I saw that list. I go, what? Is this week 1 again? What's going on here?
Right.
What's going on? Parker questionable. Sofo questionable. Dunkard questionable. There's like 7 guys questionable because of food poisoning. I don't know, illness, food poisoning, what they got. You knew
probably went to a restaurant.
You knew Morgan.
Those African guys. They love to go to those native and I don't know, maybe
they don't cook
to meet that.
Harper and Morgan were out, but then the rest of them were like, "What's going on?" And we lost the red card suspension too in the process too. I think Harper's out for a red card.
It was sort of
Duncan was out.
Duncan being out.
Duncan was out for the red card. And I was like,
a knuckleheaded red card. Tried to strangle. He tried to strangle Luna. He had too much Brooklyn in him. Come on, man.
Where are we getting players from to fill out a 20-man roster? I don't think we have 20 at this point with everybody's questionable. What's going on? But I give Sandro credit. He went to Parker to stabilize the stuff in the back.
And that he did.
And Parker is what Harmon said in the beginning when I first listened to him on the U.S. Open Cup. Parker does Parker things, and he made his presence really, really known in the first 10 minutes of the game. You're not going to get anything over him. You're not going to get anything around him. You're going to get met with a body charge, a forearm shiver. Something was coming your direction. You were going to feel it. And he let Ure know it right in the beginning, which was great. And especially on set pieces, he was a monster. Anything that was coming in the box, not try the other way. Figure it out again. Try the other side, guys. It's not coming through here. It ain't.
I mean, I think I like that pairing going forward, between Ella and, of course, Parker. I mean, those two work pretty much well together. So everyone come in. Rest of the fans came in basically for the fireworks display, but there was more fireworks on the field to be had. So let's get with the game match recap. And everyone, did you see the reason why everybody went all happy? Yeah, I got one of those flags back there. You see flashing that way. I had to put it up there just for the heck of it. But here's the match recap in its entirety.
Golden boot conversation, but on the bench, reinforcements for Philadelphia, which already had a group which was stable coming into this season after a disappointing 2024, but they've rocketed up
to drive them on in this game.
Long throw from Nealis. Tim Parker's up there starting. The shot pumped in by Stroud. It goes to Goma.
The game and use that speed up top.
Bizo's had some injuries, but starting tonight, this is plopped in. And Alejandro Bedoya in his 7th start of the season.
Or having nightmares about them, one or the other.
Nealis pops it along, and it's over the head of Goma. Parker was coming into play too. Kind deflection to Carmona for Choupo-Moting.
Why didn't he shoot Carmona?
Edelman, Stroud, the rotation. Nealis up, Choupo-Moting's header on a bounce to Blake. Wagner into the mischief. Damiani scrapping along. Having seen him from afar as an opponent for many years. Lukic, Iloski.
Oh,
Wagner.
That set up nicely for Kai Wagner for a second. Oh, are you Vulcan then? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Thanks for answering. That shot loading up Iloski.
Didn't look like you were going to say anything. I'm like, oh, go again.
This has also been part of the Union's DNA, though. Iloski up for Baribo. Fluttered and then headed by Sullivan. Iloski and running out to it. Coronel. Penalty. Coronel goes out for the ball.
Oh, is it
Damiani
handball?
comes.
Did you see referee put the...
Damiani.
Here I come,
comes to the
save the
rescue.
day.
On his mind, he lost his place
So you
recently.
get nothing.
And he gets
You
over, he
lose.
gets his right.
Good day, sir.
Bobbles over the penalty a little bit. Said that a couple times.
The chant, let's go Red Bulls. They get the ultimate lift. Beating this nemesis that's had their number.
Oh,
Choupo-Moting over for Nealis. Nealis!
wow.
Massive goal from the man from Massapequa. 1-0 Red Bulls.
This is not an easy shot. And this pitch has been very bubbly of late. Choupo-Moting and Forsberg involved. And wow, look at the technique here. Oh, great strike. That is not easy at all. To keep it down, it's bubbling already. It can't be any better controlled than that. Dylan Nealis. Wondered who was going to be the hero. Is it going to be Forsberg or Choupo-Moting? And it's Dylan Nealis putting it into the corner.
It's Wagner. Low and driven. Away from Carmona. Cornell. Are you looking more often or not for Wagner or a Sullivan if you're the Union in this situation?
Sullivan for sure. I want to see him on the ball. Here he is. Oh,
Slides it back. Red Bulls don't cover it all that well.
Oh!
Wagner! Had flames on the back end of that, but it's just wide.
Sullivan and Wagner. He needs a bit more swaz on that for the ball to come back towards goal.
Coronel fired up. For the first time in 6 years, New York can say finally against Philly.
Well, of course, as you can see, New York Red Bulls 1, Philadelphia Union 0. Nealis with the only goal in the 74th minute. Nealis has his first career MLS goal, his second across all competitions this season. He's also recorded a goal contribution in 3 of his last 4 appearances against all competitions. Choupo-Moting, he's recorded his 3rd MLS assist of the season, his 4th against all competitions. Now, he's got tallied a goal contribution in 3 state matches, Nick. Not bad, not too shabby. Remember when people were actually telling him he was too slow? Forsberg also tallied his 9th assist of the season, which ranks him tied for 9th of the year. Forsberg has recorded a goal contribution in 5 straight matches at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Coronel earned his 8th shutout, came in a great time, of the season, 42nd of his Red Bull career. And of course, that was their 99th career shutout at home in 2010, which was the most of Major League Soccer. So, everyone voted for Carlos Coronel's man of the match. You guys agree? Yes or no?
I give it to Dylan.
To Dylan.
I gave it to Dylan. Well, he wasn't the ball was he had a goal and he should have had an assist too. So that ball to the back post. That
I was so close to saying Dylan, but I had to go with Coronel because he made the save. Because as I was listening to Tony Miola talking about 99.9% of those go in. I mean, that's a horrible statistic. All right. I mean, as a keeper, you presume it's going to get by you, and you are just basically diving, guessing, and when you come up with the save, it's huge, and it was absolutely huge. So I had to give it to Coronel.
I choose Coronel I chose basically they had a man of the match day for us people here in the media. I chose Dylan Nealis as my top, and of course I also included Choupo-Moting as well. But the man in the match, I gave it to Coronel because he was the one that basically stoned Philadelphia at a great time. So he was my man in the match. And of course, the second and close second was to Dylan Nealis. So if you look at the standings thus far, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. Unfortunately, the team didn't really go anywhere, did they? I mean, the results,
Hope
they
for a
basically
day.
stayed right where they were. They were in eighth place at one point. That was before everybody else played, but they dropped right back down to 10th place.
Yeah, Chicago.
With 39 points from that win.
Chicago won late against St. Louis after they waited out an hour and a half rain delay, and they won it in the 83rd minute. And NYCFC beat Nashville at home after going down 1-0 at Yankee Stadium, and they waited out a 2-hour rain delay at halftime to come back and beat them 2-1. So, when we started the day on Sunday in 9th place, now we're back down to 10th place.
So the Eastern Conference table to reset after Philly dropped their results. Cincinnati now claims the top spot with 52 points. Philadelphia right behind them with 51. Nashville 47. Orlando 47. Inter Miami in 5th with 45. Also tied with Columbus with 45. Charlotte FC, the team that you're going to be playing against next, with 44. NYCFC 41. Chicago, us, 39 points, and New England still in the ballpark with 28, but they're fading pretty fast. Now keep in mind that the teams that we're chasing have 2 games in hand. So we have to really make up points, which now brings up this this debate. I really hate to do this, but I'm not blaming Lonray for this. He had every reason to exercise his anger, so to speak. Wednesday should have been much more important than Saturday as far as the game is concerned. What's your thoughts on that, Nick? I'm gonna bring this to you first of all. I mean, do you agree with do you agree with? Go ahead.
I wanted Wednesday more than I did Saturday. Because, listen, if we win on Wednesday, we host Nashville for the right to pick.
You're in the semi. Yeah, you're in the semis.
You're in the semis
at home.
At home against Nashville in your place where they stink.
Really basic.
It's not. I mean, it's been pointed out they don't score here. And the same thing goes on at Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, wherever they go. They come up to New York and they lay an egg and they go back home. It's the game you wanted. Wouldn't you want to have a home game with your fans at home for the right to play for a final?
Place would have been rocking. I'm serious. It would have been seriously rocking.
I wanted the Wednesday game. I was annoyed the way that we lost. I was like, I didn't want to say anything for the last 20 minutes as we were walking out of the stadium after we were ahead. I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I can't wait to go up the stadium. But what are you going to do? It's over. Is it a small? Yay, we won to keep us playoff hopes alive? Sure, we'll take it. We needed to.
Yeah.
Especially since we had both. If you look at it, we had both games. Let's be realistic. We should have won the game on Wednesday. We just needed to be more smart at the end. And you won Saturday. Mark?
Yeah, Mark.
Lay
it on us.
I was all in when Lonray posted that.
You were.
Honestly, I was. I think Saturday. And I'm gonna state this for the record. We have got a very difficult road ahead of us if we think we're going to get back to the playoffs. And we were discussing a little bit this pre-show. Last year, we caught lightning in a bottle. We caught on fire at the right time. Things just seemed to gel, and we made a fantastic run to the final. And we came up just a little short. This year, the beginning of the year, if you guys think back, We were talking in March that with a couple of additions, guys getting to know each other a little bit better, Chupo coming in, we thought, all right, if this guy's the real deal, we thought this team was going to be maybe top 4, top 6, and that this was going to be a very competitive year in the East. And this team has just let it all slip away. You know, you want to blame injuries, you want to blame whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to say this too. When I saw Wednesday's lineup, Nick and I were going back and forth about the weather, about the lineup, and we were both like, what is Sandro doing? You know, why aren't the regulars starting? What is he doing here?
Mm-hmm.
But the team went out and played. And they played hard. Philly's a physical team. We sort of let them back in a couple of times. But these guys kept fighting. You brought in Emil and Chupo late in the game, and it made a difference. You know, Dylan had that fantastic ball in, and Chupo scores on it. I really thought sitting home, I said, 20 more minutes. We got it. That's really where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, the wheels came off. Everybody comes home. It's late. I mean, my wife, she was like looking at me going, are you coming to bed? I'm like, no. Because I was still mad. I couldn't go to sleep.
I mean, right. It
was
got
still
you. I
mad.
mean,
It's nice that we won Saturday. We get the monkey off our back. We take the win. We take the 3 points. I was looking earlier. Philly's 6th place as far as away record in the East. And they're first at home. Or no, we're first at home. They're second at home.
right.
We have one win on the road. One. There's only one team in the Eastern Conference that is yet to win on the road, and that's Atlanta. Are they even in this conversation? We've been talking for over half an hour. We haven't said the word Atlanta. Yeah, this is the first time we're hearing the word Atlanta in our conversation. Atlanta is so far out of it, it's not even funny. I mean, I think one more loss and they may be statistically eliminated. We have
next
games left.
Wooden spoon race.
Yeah.
$60 million and it's wooden spoon for them.
Right. So does Saturday really make a difference? No, I would have much rather have us won. I mean, Lisa's right. It's an important game.
Yeah, I agree with Lisa 100%.
But
both games were important.
Given the choice, if I had to say, okay, which one do you want? I want Wednesday. Like Nick said, we host Nashville. They don't play well in our building. Actually, nobody plays well in our building lately. This has gone back to being a fortress. So we
stink. They come here like, oh man, we would have had that again.
Remember, the field would have been repaired a little bit more, and hopefully we start to see Morgan maybe coming back into view. Who knows what could have happened? But obviously, the results are what they are, and now it's do or die time. I know we're going to get that next after the break, but I don't know that anybody could honestly say they would choose Saturday over Wednesday. And I agree with Lonray. Lonray, if you're listening, I love you, man, 100%. You had every right to post that. And you have every right to feel the way you do. Anybody tells you different, man. No. I was like, we needed that win Wednesday. We didn't get it.
People were wondering if I was going to fire Lonray after that. I said, nope, not going to. And I'll explain why. Number one, I got his back on this, okay? The feeling I had, guys, after that loss, I was feeling evil, okay? Because I was seething. I wasn't angry because we lost. I was angry because of the way we lost, okay? We had a chance. We had it in our hands, and a young crew botched it, okay, right down the stretch. That game, in a sense, was a microcosm of our entire season, okay? Wednesday would have meant something, would have gave the fan base some juice, okay? You're at home. You're playing for the semis. You're playing for a spot for the final. The place would have been bumping, okay, as fans figured it out that, we're one game away. We're 2 wins away from a cup. Of course, if we had won that game, we're on the road on the West Coast. There's no way we was going to host both games. Excuse
Austin,
me?
Minnesota. Is in Austin or Minnesota.
Right, either Austin or Minnesota. We
Great
was,
target house. Let's
we
go,
was
man.
either going to, but, Lisa is right. Both games are important. But now, look at it like this, and I'm going to end it here in the break. You went from one game, from 1 or 2 wins from getting a title, getting a trophy, something that we haven't had in nearly 30 years, to now we're in a situation where every game counts. If we lose, we got to hope that the teams that you're chasing also loses, or we're done. It's that simple, regardless of what anyone tells you. The Red Bulls, the only way the Red Bulls have a way to secure a playoff spot, they have to win out. They have to win their next 7 games. And at the schedule we're looking at, boys and girls, I don't know if they can able to do that. And that's the honest, and that's my honest answer. So yes, I'm with Lonray, with him on this. We should have had that one. Okay, the win against Philly Saturday, okay, I'll take it. 3 points. But did it get us to the promised land, or did it delay the inevitable?
We'll find out about 2 months.
We'll find out about that in a
Well,
couple of
that's-
months.
A week.
But first,
a week to find out.
Yep. Yeah, but first, we got some business to take care of at the Queen City. When we're back in 30 seconds, Nick is going to show the whole world what's been happening with Charlotte. And although they played pretty well at home against us, well, there's some things to talk about there. See you after the break. Charlotte FC versus the New York Red Bulls. The game thread would be handled by who else? Our good friend returns, Nick. I mean, he's back. The kid is back.
Bradley is back.
Bradley is, right? It's to be fun times with Bradley, and that game will be taking place on Sunday. Just to remind you guys, if you're looking for a game on Saturday, it ain't happening. We got the next Sunday night tilt. Speaking of Charlotte FC, the game will take place 7:15. It's also a 7 o'clock game. And then we haven't faced each other very much. Head-to-head, the regular season series, 3-1-3. At Charlotte, we didn't win a game there. 0-1-2. This is our 9th meeting. Last time we beat those guys was May 28th. 4-2 versus Charlotte. Nick, this is where you come in and let the whole world know what they've been doing since the last time we bumped heads at them at Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Yeah, when we played Charlotte back on Memorial Day week, we beat them 4-2 from a goal from Bogut, Sofo, and 2 late penalties from Chupo. They give us the win. Charlotte, since that game, has won 6 straight. We go from 11th place in the conference to 7th place in the conference, beating the Smurfs, Atlanta, Toronto, Cincinnati, and RSL last week, and DC. And the RSL game is a little, I'll speak about that.
Not cheapies. These were good squads. Okay, keep
their,
that in mind.
Their record is 14 wins, 11 losses, 2 draws, with 44 points. They got rid of their best player, Patrick Amayang, who was a U.S. international.
Which was a horse. He was a horse. Okay.
In 12 games, he had 6 goals, 1 assist before he got transferred out. Pitfield, their main player, has 10 goals, 12 assists. But lucky for us, he's going to most likely miss this game out for injury. He's still recovering from a hamstring injury. He's supposed to be back at the beginning of September after the international break. The other big signing, Wilfred Saha, has 7 goals, 9 assists, and of course you still have Tim Ream in the back leading the back, and their goalie is legit one of the top 2 goalkeepers in the MLS. Christian Kalina, after a poor start to the year, He's got 8 clean sheets. This guy knows how to put, and especially as of late, after they got whipped by Juarez, who saw that coming?
Hmm.
He didn't. They got whipped 4-1 at home. Since then, they've given up one goal. They're not playing around. They went back, since they're missing all their offense, they went back to what they do best, play defense and give up nothing. And they've won 2 games, the last 3 games, 1-0. They're not giving up chances. They're barely scoring, but they're coming on with points. They're on a 6-game heater right now. When you look at the last game, I saw the RSL game. Wilfred Saha is lucky not to get a red card at the beginning of the game, because he basically did what Duncan did, and he got away with it. And he only got a yellow. And then there was, in the 5th minute, it was back to what Parker got called for. He got called for a penalty. The same thing happened to Tim Ream. Initially, Miss Penzo said no call, no penalty. They went to VAR and had like a 10-minute delay, and they eventually went back and said no penalty. It was fine. I get how you get to this unnatural position, but he blasted it off his hand, and his hand was outstretched. How do you not call this? If you're calling, somebody please explain this rule to me. Unnatural position. The ref's response to the question from Michael Batista was, "I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, we all said the same
question
thing.
was the answer to the question.
The question was, how was his arm unnatural? It was unnatural. Thanks for much clarity for that. Thank you.
That's what Tim Parker said. He said thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
He has some other choice words after that, but that's okay.
He didn't put those in his statement, though.
They won. No. They beat RSL, and eventually they come back. They won. Got away. We came home. Or at home. They won. Got the 3 points. But listen, we're playing on turf. We suck at this. We're on the road. We've been having a bad season on the road. There's a lot of bad factors here, and Charlotte has locked it down. So this is going to be another one. What we're going to get, I have no idea.
Mark, do you see any silver lining in this dark cloud that I'm staring at right now as they head down there on Sunday night? I mean,
why not us?
Basically,
I want to say,
basically, what the hell these guys have to do to get out of there? To get 3 points, let alone 1.
I think the only blessing in disguise might be that, like, we have so many of the 2 guys playing right now, and they play on turf at MSU. That may be our only advantage.
I think our advantage is actually not them not having Pabil, and they're having a hard time scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to stay positive looking at what we're seeing. This is a team with 10 wins at home. They're like us at home, and I mean, and part of it is that just like City adapts to playing on a short field, Charlotte adapts to playing on turf, and I don't know that we can break through. But we were talking after Saturday's game about how many times does Serge get the opportunity, and he takes shots, and then when he does, it's like 10, 12 rows back. It's like, all right, these are rookie mistakes. You have been playing with the first team for a while now.
We're not seeing shots in the seats.
Yeah, I mean, and
shots blocked. Okay, that means you're shooting, but shots in the seats. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
And I mean, and how I know
Focus.
Sandro. Yeah, Sandro mentioned it a lot during his press conference, talking about the field conditions. Listen, we all know that field was pretty beat up. All right, and then Gotham had to play on it Sunday, so
they're playing on Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah,
Wednesday and
so
Saturday.
So it's going to eventually get a 1 week rest, and then we come back on the 30th. But you can't keep making up excuses. You can't keep going and saying, "Oh, it was this, it was this." This team, if there's some amount of drive to make the playoffs a 16th year in a row. It starts this week. It's gotta be these guys just saying, okay, it's all of us in. We're in for this. We're gonna make it happen. Now, does that happen? I don't know. I have said I'm honestly preparing for, as Miguel puts it, American relegation, and this is what we're going to be facing, is a very difficult schedule and a lot of scoreboard watching. I don't like to be in a position where we have to hope that other teams help us out and give us.
That's going to be very much the case because we got to take, because the bulk of the schedule is going to happen on Saturday. We'll find out exactly where we stand come kickoff on Sunday when it's all said and done. And if it goes by what I think is going to happen, then that game versus Charlotte becomes an immediate must win. If I'm Charlotte, I'm not exactly sitting in the catbird seat either, because right behind them is NYCFC and Chicago. Okay, so they need this game just as much as we do. This is where the fun happens, boys and girls. We'll talk about predictions when we get down to it. Let's talk about New York Red Bull 2. They were running invincible these last couple of games. The last time they've been dropping games. They went up to Foxborough. Usually they play their games on another stadium, and lo and behold, this is what happened: 4-2. Okay, Butts got the 16th minute. Diaz, the 44th and 53rd. To Rebrand in the 79th. Kasule got one on the penalty, and Dembele on the 57th minute. It's all said and done. Despite the loss, 2 in a row, by the way, boys, they did not drop from first place. So it just, the midfielder, by the way, with his 54th career start, Kasule passed Steven Sawada for sole position of the second most starts for a midfielder in team history. Kasule scored his 28th career goal with the club, his 6th of the season. The midfielder made his 54th career start, and he passed Steven Sawada, Juan Gutierrez, Ovante Mullings, and A.J. Marcucci for the 4th most starts in club history. Kasule scored his 3rd career goal against New England. He's got about 2 goals and 3 appearances against Revolution 2. Dembele scored his 1st goal of the season, thank you very much, and that was his 3rd of his career. The Milan native made his first appearance since October 6th. He was injured all that time, and his first start since August 17th after sustaining an abdominal injury. He scored about a goal in back-to-back appearances with his last goal, Mark. 1-1 draw against Chattanooga FC on October 6th. So there you go.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
You posted Friday's results. I was at MSU Monday, and I was texting you guys while you were in the middle of the show. They did beat Philly 2-0.
Right.
And that was with Aiden Stokes still in goal. So Aiden is now our backup. So they've had to go to the backup at Red Bull 2 as well. So this gets interesting for Red Bull 2 because they're still in first, but you've got now a very green keeper who's going to be starting the rest of your season.
Yep.
And it just becomes a question of how many guys do they have to take up to the first team to make up for the guys that are out, missing, injured, sick, whatever the case may be.
Well, don't look now, because guess who's right behind them now? Huntsville City.
Yeah, well,
now this is points behind the Red Bulls too.
And I think they have a game in hand. I'm not looking at the I'm not looking at the stands, but I think Huntsville has a game in hand. And Philly 2 has dropped to 3rd. They were in 2nd. And the Sons of Ben did come up Monday, and they were trying to make some noise. They went home unhappy, which is always a good sign for us. But this is going to be a tough situation for the Baby Bulls. It's going to be difficult to see out the rest of the season. And then for those that don't understand the next pro format for playoffs,
Right.
the top 4 teams get to choose their opponents in order. So it's
In order.
1 through 4. You can pick whoever you want as your opponent. So if you're the number 1 team and you have not played well against the team that's in 8th place, you could choose someone else. And then then from there, I think it goes to the same format where the best remaining team plays the lowest remaining team, and so on through the playoffs. Now, I don't put as much stock in the next pro playoffs as I did when the team was in
don't?
USL. Not
You do-
saying compared to when we were in USL.
Okay. All right.
There was a difference when the first 3 years that the team existed, we won the USL Championship Cup. We played the next 2 seasons. We went to the Eastern Conference Final, but it was in Louisville, and we lost to Louisville both times. And then the team sort of started to nose down because of COVID and a lot of other problems. And we had some transition. Now we're in Next Pro. So for me, I mean, it's nice to see the guys get additional minutes, see the playing time increase. And again, we have some talented players at this level. The question is, will it translate to them making it on the first team? We've seen guys come up. I mean, Mohamed Sofo came up. He was on fire. He's sort of cooled off lately.
That's been the problem. A lot of these guys, they're hot, and then you're thinking, okay, let's put pen to paper, put this guy on the first team, and next thing you know, he falls off.
Well, look
Which
at
is kind of frustrating because we know what these guys can do, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a mental thing, whatever the case may be.
I mean, Sawada was up with the first team 2 years ago. Everybody fell in love with this guy, and then it just sort of faded. Kasule, even at the beginning of this year, was on fire.
Gangbusters.
So,
That was like, oh, okay, finally we get the real Kasule, and then he fades off. Which is kind of
Rosebar is the same thing. He kind of started.
Yeah, same thing. It's a question of who gets hot and who doesn't. And these guys got to start showing some consistency.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not about getting hot. It's about being consistent with it. Okay, because that would be the main thing. Let's talk about Gotham FC. This was a very strange game, Nick. I mean, what if I told you that Esther Gonzalez scored in the 9th minute, right? But then you coughed up the goal. Thank you very much, Miss Sonnet. And then Eloise came in 3 minutes in stoppage time and shocked the whole place. It came in Houston, comes off with a win, a 2-1 win after all that. I mean, how would you feel if you had a game in hand and the only shot you saw the shots on goal, right? The only shots on goal, you didn't shoot very much on goal. It's almost like nothing happened, but you still lose. Explain that to me a little bit. How?
Whoever was still left in the arena after that, was it like 3-hour rain delay?
Yeah,
it was like about a 3-hour rain delay. And could that stayed with the game. I think there was a handful of people left. You could have been. That was the worst way to end. That's the worst way to walk out of a stadium. But just.
I mean, sheesh. I mean, that
they should have won
sense.
that game 6-0, and it wouldn't. No one would have blinked an eye because that's how well Gotham was playing. Just couldn't put the ball on target. Ball was moving, couldn't put the ball on target. Ball moving, couldn't put the ball on target. Reminded me of some other team that plays in that same stadium.
And almost the same style. Now, the good news is Esther Gonzalez, she reclaimed the NWSL Golden Boot League with her 11th goal of the season, putting Gotham FC early. She has scored 9 first-half goals this season, including 3, Mark, within the first 10 minutes. This girl can't stop scoring. Defender Mandy Freeman made his club record 107th season appearance, passing Sandra Waldemo. It was also her 86th career start. She passed Christine Pierce, Rapone, for most in Gotham FC history. Forward, Gabby Partillo tallied her 3rd assist of the season. She set up the goal that was scored by Gonzalez for Gotham's opening one. That was her first start since April 26th versus the Washington Spirit. Now, here's the thing that drove everyone nuts, okay? Gotham living in Houston to just 2 shots on goal throughout the 2 shots throughout the entire match. That's it. 2 shots. Now that 99% of the time that should win you the game, right? But no. Okay. Somehow they you get an own goal and then you coughed up the killing goal 3 minutes in the stoppage time after a lengthy rain delay. Ouch, babes. Ouch. Ouch, baddies. I mean, I don't understand that.
And Houston was not a good side. I mean,
No,
they're
that's
decent.
it. That's the thing. Right, Mark, they're not a very good side. I mean, when you look at, I'm like, huh? Huh?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. No. You're not supposed to lose games like that. I mean, but there you go.
Defenses in the league, and they just lost to them.
Katie Stengel made her first NWSL start since September 8, 2024, also against Houston. The game was played in front of 7,519 folks. And their next game will be home against Monterrey, but not at home. They will be playing, believe it or not, at Icon Stadium in Randall's Island. That game will take place on Wednesday the 20th at 7 p.m. Hop on the number 6 train, cross the bridge, and cheer on Gotham FC. New York Red Bull 2 will be home on Sunday at 7 o'clock versus Chicago Fire 2. They'll be, of course, at the campus, and that is suddenly becoming to be a big game. They need to win that one to keep pace because all the teams that's chasing them have now breathing down their neck. I mean, I almost hate to say this, but Mr. Bradley, the honeymoon is over, and your crew needs to start packing some wings.
Welcome to New Jersey.
They need to make up for that 9-2 whooping.
Yeah, I'm sure that still stings. I mean, 9-2. I mean, you got grabbed somewhere in,
That was a mugging.
That was a mugging. Not even a mugging. That somebody grabbed you in the alley and beat you senseless. I mean, that's
dead over there, basically.
Yeah, so it's going to be Tom Potvin's going to be there for the last 2 home games. Unfortunately, I will never give up. Well, I don't want you to give up, Tom. You're a Marine. Stick with it, boss. You need to be in there. Lisa, the players ain't looking too good for us this season unless we win the rest of our games. We said that, right? The only chance that the Red Bulls have at this point, right, is to win out. They lose, and the teams that they're chasing win, dunzo. It's that simple. Dunzo.
We don't play Chicago again, unfortunately for us, I guess. We have our rivalry game against City on the 23rd in September, I think it is. That's going to be just an unbelievably monstrous game because that could make or break our season.
There's 6-point games down the stretch.
Yeah, every one of them.
Charlotte's playing Chicago. We're playing City. City's playing Chicago as well. And there's like another 2 I'm missing here. Off the top of my head.
Basically,
it comes down to the final. I think Charlotte is going to get in because of their schedule. I think anybody above Orlando is going to definitely get in because of their schedule. It basically comes down to us, the Smurfs, and Chicago for
the last 2 spots.
The last 2 spots. And based on the wins, the seedings, and how things go down the stretch, City's schedule after the international break.
It's not easy.
Is
not easy.
I think it's 6 games over 18 days. Starting with DC and ending with us. And then the trip to Philly. So you have us, Philly to end it, and Miami sprinkled in between all that stuff. So you have 6 games, a 6-pointer against Chicago, a rivalry game against New York. Messi's coming to Yankee Stadium, or is it Citi Field? I have no idea where he's playing at this year. And you ended in Philly. How many? They're not a deep team this year. They're having a hard time scoring. Alonso Martinez doesn't score.
Put it this way: if they win three of the games you just mentioned, Nick, they got a good chance of making the playoffs. It's that simple.
We have this game in Charlotte, home to Columbus.
Yep.
On the road to Portland.
Yep. And on the road to Montreal, which I will be there.
Canada.
And everyone knows Stade Saputo was a nightmare for
everyone. Everybody gets crazy over that stadium, that damn cowbell. Montreal, come back home to face Cincinnati and the Smurfs, and then you go on the road to Columbus.
Yeah, the tough part for us is we have to play Columbus twice in this stretch.
Yep.
They saved that. Listen, I'm almost glad we're not going to Nashville to end the season, because we just it's how many times have we gone down to Nashville and neither team scores, or it's a 1-0 game.
Well, we played them. I'm surprised we played them for a home opener. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And normally we get them to start the year and end the year. That's why a lot of league loves to make fun of this.
Well, all
right. Let's talk about predictions for Charlotte. Mark, you first.
I'm gonna say 1-1 draw. Somehow we get out with a point.
Not enough, but enough to keep us alive, to keep the heartbeat going.
That's
1-1.
But I'm saying 1-1.
Nick, what say you?
I said the same. I'm saying the same thing. 1-1. Toledo's on fire. Charlotte's on fire. It's a turf. It's a lot of things saying against it, but I'm counting on Chupo and Emil to do something.
This may sound crazy, but I'm going to give this team a little bit of hope. Right? They are undefeated in 6 matches. Right? For some reason, teams like that, unless they're very, very good, okay, can't really sustain it. And I feel that the Red Bulls are going to pull somewhat of an upset. 2-1 us. Okay? Maybe they'll give us, some, they'll give us a chance. 2-1. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this, in that match. But I think we're going to wind up with 2 of them. Lisa says it's a 2-2 draw. Tom Poffin saying, let's go for the 3 points. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it a night. I mean, this has been kind of a, kind of a fun weekend. We had the worst of times, and of course we had the best of times. The good thing is we finally beat Philly. Where it goes from there, we don't know from here. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the live show, don't forget, and always remember, you can always catch us on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. X, which is formerly Twitter, and of course our home from the very beginning, which is Spotify.com. You'll be seeing all those episodes online on Wednesday for your listening and viewing pleasure. Lon Ray, who made the bold statement about U.S. Open Cup, will be back with us next week, along with the Viper, the man who always has a good word to say about the Red Bulls, and of course his beloved Arsenal, who beat Man U. And of course, one other person will be joining us, of course, will be the one, the only Anthony Merced, with his recent download of Red Bull Monthly. So, for that, we want to thank all of you guys who joined us in our live show. Thank you so much for your support and everything else. And we love you guys very much. Is the reason why we do this for you. For Mark Coates and Nick Lianos, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you guys next week. Until then, good night and goodbye.